took you've no matter. Lay out your arms then.
I need 7 of them. That's annoying. Nice. So really I'm just looking for smithing stone 7s. Put my other things away. Oh, I think I brought them out for the Asher Wars, but that's fine. That was like really a very humbling experience. I have been feeling pretty confident. Kind of like that armor rolls out. Okay. I didn't really like that. That was like very specific. I feel like if you really specialized in it, it would kind of be cool, but I like having. I think these are going to be good. Oh, where's my other guy? Oh my gosh. It's pretty leveled up though, actually, so we'll play around with it. Okay, that wasn't very helpful. I need to have that in there, I think. Okay, cool. Alright, let's go talk to him for a second.
You. What is it? Ah, I see. So Mikola was with the Lord of Blood after all. That is some fine intelligence indeed. With it, the final clue has been brought into the light. One of the last few pieces of the round table. I need to put everything together. As promised, allow me to impart to you The last of the secret rites, known only to me.
Okay, that's where it would have been. Alright. I'm excited. I really wish I could have got Melania, but I think I need to step away from that fight and really get back into the story again, because and it was really in a almost kind of figurative way, like, you know, she's like Scarlet Rot, like she literally was breaking me down, man. Like I became a whiny, petulant child, you know. Yeah, it was very interesting. I kind of let my feelings out, you know. And it was a nice place to do that. They aren't feelings I need to want to live in or rot in, if you will. So it's nice to kind of leave that kind of emotional state, you know, that kind of anger in the right places, you know. And I think that the concept of this shadow realm we're about to enter is very much like that, you know, where, you know, we have to live in the reality we have and put on the personas we do and exist with the people we want to exist with and live in this world. There's nothing you can really do about it, but it's not to suggest that there are things that we harbor and hold deep in our own sort of shadow self, you know. And if the, you know, the lands between here, you know, where you have kind of a spring beginning, and it has this sort of summer blue vibe, and then the Altus Plateau, which is more autumn, and of course your mountaintops where it's winter. And at the very, very top here, oh my gosh, is this rot, you know, which is, you know, I've always really liked this fight too. With this sort of crucible, this like beastman. And it's crazy to think like Melania like made her way all the way. Well, I guess she kind of was here and made her way down. And then blew up right here. And then Loretta carried her all the way back, fighting her way back. And not even to here, but up to here and to the Halleck tree, where she was resting when we found her. And it's funny because it seems like a lot, you know, thinking about Mikola and his, you know, how he inspires all these people to, you know, and all these nascent plans. And I think part of my anger in that fight was that, you know, like I'm doing this like long capture of this, you know, this, it's easily gonna be over 200 sessions, you know, and if I couldn't defeat Melania, it was sort of like, what am I doing, you know? It's kind of embarrassing. But then it's also, I think what I've always been doing in my art throughout my life is sort of capturing these moments in my life. Some that are lost, you know, like films that I made that are lost. And then somewhere that, you know, they're shot on Super 35mm, but it was transferred to some digital image, you know, and now it's just like a tiny pixelated video on my website, you know, but yet all of that was created by people and a whole crew, and it took years to kind of write and really get, and it was all based on my real life experience. And then now that whole experience of making that film and processing it and editing it and fretting over it and then showing it across the world, like it was shown everywhere, you know, shown in all these different festivals around the world, and now it's just some forgotten video online, you know. And this playthrough of Elden Ring is, you know, I'm not trying to pretend like this is something remarkable or worth watching all 200 hours, but it's sort of the fact that it's being captured you know, is sort of, you know, it's like a photograph, you know. I played video games, like I wish that I had the same thing for when I was playing and exploring Link to the Past, you know, or even Breath of the Wild when it came out in 2017, you know. Because these are, you know, these games shape my view and my ability to art is sort of how I think most people sort of relate to the world, you know, because it is so absurd and it can be so unfair. And it's nice to have a set of rules that you can kind of follow that helps you, you know, make sense of the absurdity, you know. And I like especially in this game, how all these pieces can be applied to so many different things. It's like it's just really well. It's just fucking great. Because it feels very esoteric. And even though these are kind of very novel fantasy ideas, like they feel so tied to you know, just it's very esoteric, I guess, to say, and I really like that. So I mean, this sort of feels like the cycle of things, but I think like there's a couple things we haven't found, which is that that city in the sky that's like storming out here, which is this kind of place between, you know, the cycle. You know. So a shadow realm is sort of like, you know, what does this whole experience reflect, you know, and what shadow does it cast, you know. Like there's always, we use 3 a lot for, especially in like religious texts or you know, it feels very balanced and very, you know, mother, father, son, you know, mother, father, child, I'm sorry, you know, in that sense of, but there is also, and that kind of creates a very singular thing, and that feels very perfect. But then the shadow, there's always a reflection of that. There's always like the moon, the I don't know how to describe it, like the reflection of it, you know, like Mr. Hyde, Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, you know. And I think approaching it in that sense of almost the worst parts of ourselves, you know, and exploring that, and I don't know. Anyway, that's just going to be a short episode because I kind of went on a ramble. And I don't really want to start the expansion talking a bunch. I want to just kind of enjoy it. So I'm kind of getting my talking out now. And I'm still kind of unwinding from my Melania. Alright, great. Oh, that's the wrong one, I think. I mean, I know I could, but this is where I want to start next time.